Have you ever stopped, taken a deep breath, and suddenly realized you've forgotten how to truly breathe? It sounds strange, I know, but most of us, caught up in the rush of life, have lost touch with the natural, effortless breath we were born with. I've worked with hundreds of students across the United States, from high-pressure executives to busy mothers, and they all tell me the same thing. I don't think I know how to breathe properly anymore. Today, I want to take you on a journey, not into something mystical or far away, but into something both science and a 5,000-year-old tradition agree on. 111 breaths can completely transform how you feel about yourself, your world, and the way you live each day. And we'll begin with something that may seem almost too simple. Before you begin any breathing practice, you need a space that feels like your own little temple. I always tell my students, you don't need a fancy meditation room, but you do need a place where your body and mind can breathe together. It might be a small corner of your living room, by a sunny window, or out on your porch in the early morning. What matters is that it's quiet, well ventilated, softly lit, and free from interruptions. Turn off your phone, or at least put it on Do Not Disturb. Settle into a comfortable position and let your mind know that for the next 10 to 15 minutes, you are only here. Not in your next meeting, not in your to-do list. Just here, with yourself. Once your space is ready, the next step is to put your body in a position where energy can flow freely. I want you to try sitting down, and if you can, choose Sukhasana, a simple cross-legged position with your spine straight. But remember, straight doesn't mean stiff like a board. It's a natural uprightness, as if your spine is a soft yet strong thread stretching from the base of your spine to the top of your head. If your knees or hips aren't comfortable yet, that's fine. You can sit in a chair as long as your feet are flat on the ground and your back stays upright. The key is to keep the channel open, what the ancients called prana, and what science today calls neural flow, without any blockages. Now place one hand on your chest and the other on your navel. When your hand touches your navel, imagine you're placing it on your personal energy control center, the same place that, when you were just a fetus, was your one and only lifeline to life itself. In that moment, you'll start to feel that breath is not just about inhaling and exhaling. It's a conversation between you and the deepest part of you. And together, we're going to use that breath to awaken it. Once you're sitting in the right posture and have your full attention there. Once you're sitting still, feeling your hand resting on your navel, I want you to pause for a moment and imagine this. In ancient Indian stories, it's believed that Brahma, the god who created the universe, was born from the navel of Vishnu. This image isn't just symbolic, it's a reminder. The navel is a gateway of creation, the starting point of everything. Modern science says the same thing, only in different words. When you were in your mother's womb, your navel was the single lifeline delivering nutrients, oxygen, and energy to you. It was your very first connection to life itself. And even more fascinating, in Qigong and yoga, the navel is considered the first brain, a central hub that governs your energy, your health, your emotions, and even your ability to focus. But the journey of the breath doesn't stop there. In the center of your forehead, right between your eyebrows, there's another powerful energy point called the Ajna chakra, or the third eye. This is where your intuition, clarity, and insight beyond the ordinary come alive. Now imagine this. When you breathe consciously, you're connecting your navel, the anchor of your life force, to your Ajna chakra, the awakening of your spiritual power. When these two centers speak to each other through the breath, it's like opening a superhighway of energy that runs through your whole body, bringing your mind and body into harmony. That's the power of understanding and activating both the navel and the Ajna chakra. It's not just about energy, it's about awakening creativity, intuition, and inner peace you might have thought you'd lost. Now we step into the core of this practice, the place where the magic really happens. I want you to try this with me right now. Sit still, hands in place, one on your chest, one on your navel. Breathe in slowly through your nose. And as you inhale, imagine you're gently inflating a balloon right under your lower hand on your belly. Your belly should rise first, not your chest. If your top hand on your chest is moving too much, you're engaging the wrong muscles. Relax your shoulders and let your belly lead the way. Hold that breath for just a moment. Feel the warmth radiating from your navel area, like a soft yet powerful current of energy spreading through your body. This isn't just air, this is prana, the life force energy your body has known how to use since the very beginning, even before you were born. And now, exhale slowly through your mouth, feeling your belly deflate, like that balloon gently releasing its air. As you breathe out, imagine all your tension, worries, and limiting beliefs leaving with it. The beauty of this is, you don't have to force anything. Just allow your breath to slow down, deepen, and let your belly guide you, one breath at a time. I want you to understand something. When you breathe the right way, slow, deep, and led by your belly, you're not just taking in more oxygen. You're flipping a biological switch that your body has been programmed with since the beginning of time. In as little as 5 minutes, about 50 to 60 breaths, your body starts shifting into a special mode that science calls the parasympathetic state. This is your body's natural recovery mode. In this state, your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure steadies, and your muscles release tension. Your body begins to heal itself, but it doesn't stop there. Your brain starts producing more alpha and theta waves, the very same frequencies that appear when you're in deep meditation or just before you drift into sleep. This is the moment your subconscious mind opens its doors, ready to receive new programming and positive beliefs you want to plant. That's why both ancient breathing masters and modern science agree. Deep belly breathing is the bridge between your mind and your body. It's the control switch for your emotions and energy, one that you carry with you every single day. If you truly want to see a noticeable transformation, give yourself 21 days. Why 21? Because neuroscience research shows it takes about that long to form a new neural pathway in the brain, which means you're literally reprogramming yourself. I've guided hundreds of students through these 21 days, and what's fascinating is that each stage feels different. By day 7, almost everyone tells me they feel more energized, with a clearer mind. It's like wiping the dust off a window. You suddenly see the world more clearly. By day 14, other people start noticing. One of my students in Chicago told me her co-worker asked, "You seem lighter lately, and there's something different about you." She didn't explain, just smiled, because she knew the secret was in those morning breaths. And by day 21, many people look back and say, "The person I was 3 weeks ago doesn't feel like me anymore." Not because they've become someone else entirely, but because the layers of tension, anxiety, and self-doubt have fallen away. The real, free, creative version of themselves starts to emerge. I always remind my students, this isn't magic, it's the result of conscious repetition. Each breath you take is like a gentle knock on the door of your subconscious. And after 21 days, that door finally swings open. Have you ever noticed that in life, certain numbers keep showing up, almost like they're trying to send you a message? For me, and for many people who practice this technique, 111 is one of those numbers. In numerology, 111 is known as a master manifestation number. It represents new beginnings, the transformation of ideas into reality, and alignment with the highest version of yourself. When you take 111 conscious breaths, you're not just counting, you're sending a clear signal to your brain and your subconscious. I'm ready. I'm opening the door to something new. What's fascinating is that the act of counting also keeps your mind anchored in the present moment. It stops you from drifting into the usual mental noise, worries about the future, regrets about the past. Each number becomes like a gentle knock, step by step, guiding you deeper into focus. So the next time you hear 111, don't think of it as just a breathing exercise. Think of it as a ritual, a way to awaken and reprogram yourself, one breath at a time. One of the things I love most about the 111 breath technique is that you don't have to wait a month to feel results. If you practice it correctly, even your very first session can bring noticeable change. And those changes aren't small. The first thing almost every student tells me is that their mind suddenly feels quiet. That constant inner chatter, the to-do lists, the random worries, seems to fade, like someone slowly turning down the volume. A student of mine in California once said, "My mind got so quiet, I could hear the clock ticking." The second change is the end of overthinking. You know that feeling when your brain keeps analyzing, turning the same problem over and over? Within just a few sessions, many people tell me they start trusting their intuition more, no longer trapped in the analysis loop. The third benefit, and one I know many of you are hoping for, is that stress and anxiety begin to dissolve. Not because all your problems magically disappear, but because your nervous system learns how to stay calm even in the middle of challenges. A businessman in New York told me, "In the middle of a tense meeting, I started breathing like we practiced, and my heart stopped racing. Then comes a deep sense of inner peace, like a still lake inside you that nothing can disturb. And finally, greater self-awareness. You start to see clearly the difference between your true self and the habits or beliefs you've absorbed from the world around you. All of this, you can feel it within the first few days. And the more you practice, the more these benefits stop being something you feel after breathing and start becoming your natural state of being." I know, it sounds almost too fast to believe, but I've seen it happen so many times that I don't question it anymore. When you truly focus and practice the right way, in just 48 to 72 hours, your outer life begins to respond to the changes happening inside you. One of my students, Sarah, is an elementary school teacher. She came to her first session looking worn out, telling me it felt like everything around her was working against her. Colleagues were irritable, students weren't listening, and her workload kept piling up. We practiced the 1 to 11 breaths together for 3 days straight. On the 4th day, she called me, her voice a mix of surprise and excitement. "Something's different today. My co-workers are offering to help, my students are unusually well behaved, and I even got an email about a collaboration opportunity I never expected." And why does it happen so quickly? Because when you align your breath with your navel center, you're tapping into what ancient texts call the wish-fulfilling gem, the part of you directly connected to the field of infinite possibilities. You start broadcasting a different frequency, and the world responds to it. The most profound part, after just 5 minutes of breathing into the navel, many people realize a truth that changes everything. You are not your body. You are not your passing thoughts or emotions. You are the observer, the infinite consciousness experiencing life through this physical form. And when you stand in that awareness, the old limits, fear, doubt, insecurity, no longer have the power to hold you back. One of the most common questions my students ask is, when should I practice to get the best results? My answer always starts with 2 words, the morning. Right after you wake up, before you touch your phone, before your mind gets pulled into emails, messages, or to-do lists, is when your mind is at its clearest. Your body has just completed a night of recovery, and your stress hormone cortisol is still low. This is when your energy is pure and easiest to direct. Picture this. You're sitting in a quiet corner, morning light spilling in, giving yourself 10 to 15 minutes to breathe. You begin your day not with noise and chaos, but with stillness and inner strength. It's like laying a strong foundation for the day, no matter what happens outside. Inside you remain steady. And if you want to use this technique for deeper sleep, the second best time is right before bed. Just sit or lie comfortably. Practice the 111 breaths, and you'll feel your body naturally slipping into a state of deep relaxation. I've had many students use this to overcome insomnia, telling me that sleep comes as gently as a soft breeze. Remember, whether it's morning or night, the most important thing is to choose a consistent time every day. When you make it a habit, your brain gets the signal, it's time to come back home to myself. There's a very special moment, one I believe anyone who practices long enough will eventually experience. It often comes unexpectedly, right in the middle of your steady breathing. You're inhaling, exhaling, and suddenly you realize, I am not just this body. You start to see clearly that the thoughts and emotions that used to overwhelm you, worry, anger, sadness, are nothing more than clouds drifting across the sky of your mind. And you are the sky, vast, timeless, unshaken. This is the turning point. Because when you become the observer, you're no longer swept away by the fears or doubts of a conditioned mind. You begin to live from a deeper, quieter place. And from that place, the things you truly desire can appear naturally, without force, without struggle. For me, this is the most precious gift of the 111 breath technique. Because it doesn't just change the way you breathe, it changes the way you exist. Now, I want you to understand something important. Breath only reveals its full power when you practice consistently. If you do 111 breaths today and then forget about it until next week, you're only skimming the surface. But if you set aside 10 to 15 minutes every single day and keep going for at least 21 days, you will feel a transformation that words can barely describe. I often encourage my students to make a small commitment to themselves. Write it down on paper or set a daily reminder on your phone at the same time each day. And if you can, keep a simple journal of how you feel after each session. You'll be amazed when you look back after a week or two and realize just how far you've come. Not only in your breathing, but in the way you live, feel, and respond to life itself. I want you to picture this. Your extraordinary life is just 111 breaths away. Not sometime far off in the future. Not after you've changed everything around you. But starting right now, with the very first breath you're willing to take. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need hours of free time. You don't need to wait until everything is perfect. All you need is to sit down, place your hand over your navel, and breathe. The way your body once knew how, long before you ever forgot. So here's my challenge to you. Just like I've given to hundreds of my students, practice 111 breaths every single day for the next 21 days. And when you feel the shift, because you will, come back here and share your story. I read every single one, and I truly can't wait to hear yours. Remember, the power is already within you. 111 breaths are simply the key to unlock that door. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Together. Today. And if this video gave you something new, a thought, a moment of peace, or simply the realization, wow, I can still breathe like this, hit that like button so I know. It helps me create even more content for you and for others out there searching for transformation through breath. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because in the next video, I'm going to share how to combine the 111 breaths with visualization to accelerate your manifestations. It's a technique many of my students say is like strapping a jet engine to their 21-day journey. Think of this as a shared path, you, me, and the breath, exploring the untapped power within. I'll see you in the next video.